bloody cold here again today. That's why I got a jumper on.
That's hilarious. Your idea of bloody cold is probably a joke.
You're a bloody sissy, Fred.
Yeah. Yesterday it was minus 35 Celsius here.
That's a bit chilly. That's a bit chilly in anyone's language.
It's 18 degrees here.
Oh, 18 degrees. I'd be wearing short pants.
Yeah, I always wear short pants because I'm 5'3".
On Saturday we went from 31 degrees at this country west festival I was at, 31 degrees, and then Sunday it was 17. And pissing down with rain. So, but it was all welcome. It helps get a bit of green on the dirt instead of the brown charred mass of farmland. So that's okay. It was cool.
So what's everybody been up to the last week?
Well, I went out to Thursday. I left Invercargill and out to Fort Rose, which is probably about 40 odd k's east of Invercargill. It was an old trading port area back in the day, and then I went up another 30 odd k's or so up to a place called Niagara, and it's just, I don't know how I got the name, but there was a country and bluegrass festival on from Saturday midday till last night, and then it pissed down in the afternoon. I got cooked in the bloody heat. I spent too much time out in the sun. Sunblock and all didn't make any difference. It was bloody hot, and had a couple of cold showers, and I 40 a senior moment, 40 winks, and the rest of the day come good, So that was cool. What about you, Maury? What have you been doing?
Well, I might have an injury. I might have a hernia.
Wow.
So I had to get a what do you call it? An ultrasound. So I'm waiting to hear back. The doctor was supposed to call. The doctor was supposed to call on Friday if there was a problem, but I didn't hear anything. And so it turns out, though, with all the privacy laws and everything, I actually have to go down there for them to tell me what's going on. And it's a walk-in clinic. So I'm kind of tied up tomorrow morning, which is Monday morning for me. I know you guys are men of the future, yeah. But for me, I have to probably wait till Tuesday morning when I can actually go down there and see what's going on.
Yeah, what was the challenge you got?
Well, they think it might have been a hernia.
Oh, hernia, right? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know, because the last couple of days, I mean, it's still pretty bad, but it's better than it was. So, from what I understand, hernias don't get better on their own.
No, they don't.
But have you got pain with it, or?
Oh, of course. That's why I went. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the idea that something was happening.
Because a few years ago, I got this thing, and it's really weird. But sometimes, if I'm, depending on how I'm laying down, whatever, I get this bulge in my tummy, right? But it just comes out a bit like ET. And
have you ever had it checked?
Yeah. No, just telling the story. So when it happened first, I went and had it checked, and the local doctor said, "Oh, it's a hernia," right? So then they booked me in to see the surgeon, and I get to see the surgeon, and it was just about Christmas, probably about 3-4 years ago, and just about Christmas, and I got in, and he had a look at me. He says, "No, it's not a hernia," and he gave it some medical name or whatever it was. And I said, "What do we do with it?" He says, "Is it hurting you?" And I go, "No." "Is it impacting you?" And I said, "No." And he said, because there was no pain, right? It was just deformity, right?
Yeah.
We don't do anything with it, leave it. And I go, great Christmas present I ever got. Thank you. No coming.
So once in a while,
So
once in a while it acts up and then it goes away.
Yeah, but it's really it's like it just bulges out, like literally like a dome, you know. Wherever if I lie in a funny position, it'll come out, and you know, obviously to me, I immediately thought it was a hernia.
Interesting.
Then when he told me that no, he doesn't have to come out with the knife, I'm going, I like that idea.
Yeah, well, they have arthroscopic surgeries now that they can do. So
Yeah.
if it's not too bad, you know, it's just a little slit, they put you out. It's an outpatient thing. It's like going in for a colonoscopy, which is something else that's fun. But on lighter news, especially now with a lady present, better to get away from these shitty topics, so to speak. It was interesting. I heard from someone I hadn't talked to in probably a couple of years that I met at a networking. She's a Japanese lady that we had a very nice meeting when we met a couple of years ago. She was, I actually had a meeting with someone who works pretty closely with, what's the guy's name? He was one of the stars from The Secret.
There's that, or whatever his name is, John.
Yeah, John R. Asprath, I think is his name. Yeah. So yeah, so she was actually on she was on a webinar with him and Natalie Ledwell from Mind Movies. And she was all excited. She sent me a message on LinkedIn because they were talking about me. They actually mentioned me in it.
Wow.
So it's kind of funny that I would have a meeting with someone who works with John, like literally 3 days before, and then someone I meet at networking is on a webinar with him and Natalie Ledwell, and they mentioned me. So I wrote Natalie a letter. I co-created with her Mind Movies Matrix, which it was their best-selling product of all time so far. And I just sent her an email.
Is Mind Movies the thing where they actually had subliminal stuff sitting on your screen? Did they do that? Is that the same thing?
I think they may have done that as part of it. They were heavy into subliminals. I remember for
They're
like
two Aussies. She's an Australian?
Yeah. And Glenn Ledwell.
Girl.
They're not married, and they're not married anymore.
Yeah.
And they both live in San Francisco now, I believe.
Yeah, because this would have to be 10, 15 years ago. They actually put that out, and it was a screen save that subliminally showed messages to you that you couldn't see.
Yeah, that would have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
They actually bought me out. I was getting a commission check from them for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And they told me at the end when they bought me out, they said, Maury, do you mind if we buy you out? Because like if we had known how much money we were going to pay out to you, we would have offered you a really good deal. And I would have taken it. They probably would have offered me like 40 or 50 grand US. And I would have said, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But in the end, over 10 years, they paid me about $250,000.
Nice.
It worked out to be about 25,000 a year.
It's interesting that they didn't continue with that product, because I had it on a PC, but when I moved to the Mac, I couldn't get it, so I dropped out.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it worked or not. I assume it did, but it was like the idea of it appealed to me.
Subliminals are interesting. There's research that says that if you believe they're saying something that's positive for you, and you know they're playing in the background, then chances are you will get benefits. Even if nothing is playing like if you play something and nothing's there, but you think
correct. Yeah.
Bit like
correct. It's good stuff. Yeah.
Maybe we should get together and pretend we're sending somebody a subliminal.
Yeah.
You send them a video that does nothing, you know.
Well, exactly, right? So
years
who knows?
ago,
maybe down the road I'll get a call from John's people saying let's do something together. But regardless, I think it's kind of funny that I'd have a meeting. Who I met this guy on a networking that he works closely with John, and then 3 days later, John, at least I know, knows my name because he heard it during the webinar that he was hosting with Natalie. And Natalie, actually, I love her. She's wonderful, and she's always been very, very good to me. Not just the money. They always, even now when they do. I mean, you saw like with that webinar just a couple of days ago, they mentioned me. They were probably talking about the Mind Movies Matrix or their subliminal recordings, because I did about, I don't know, probably 3.5 years worth of subliminal recordings for them before we did the Matrix. That was part of the deal. Maury, you do this for us at no cost, and we'll do a product with you. And
Sure.
everybody thought they were going to screw me over because it was years.
Yeah.
Right. And then they did the Matrix with me. So Aussies are very nice people to deal with. They're honest. They are very, in my experience, at least, they're honest. They have credibility, and they're people of their word. So
Yeah, there are some that don't quite fit that mold, but yeah, I agree. The majority, but I actually think that's the same worldwide. You know, I think the majority of people are genuine, right? There's always the asshole, right? But I think the majority of people, and you attract what you attract. You know, like if you, and I think we had this discussion once before where you talk about your gut feel. You know, I've made multiple mistakes in the years I've been in business, and every time it was because I went against my gut.
Yeah.
Every time, like you say it afterwards, you go, I knew that was going to happen. Well, if you knew it was going to happen, what the fuck did you do it? You know?
You just want to prove yourself right.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's I don't think I'm the only one that falls into that category. If you think somebody's going to be an asshole in the end, they end up being an asshole. No?
Yeah. Going back to that subliminal stuff, I got into that there a while back, and with a mate of mine, and I know it works because way back in the 60s, they used to play the music at the theatre, and they put buy more Coke and so forth in the music and the thing, and their Coke sales went up, you know, and but all that stuff like that works, even if you're listening to an audio tape and you go to sleep while it's playing, you're still taking it all in, you know. Sure. And from that aspect, so it's interesting field in there, and still pretty much untapped.
Yeah, but why do you think when you see movies that they bought, like people will pay shitloads to just use Apple computers, for example, in the movie, right? Or just, you know, just now smoking's dropped off, but you know, but if it's drinks like it's Coke or Pepsi, you don't see, like if there's one brand of drink being taken in the movie, it's throughout the movie. You don't see them swapping between brands, and the same with
no, it's there, you know, and
it's there for a reason, isn't it?
And it's the same thing as, I mean, the best learning of the lot is repetition learning. You know, I mean, all our parents, when they were at school, they learned their timetables up to 15, 16, 17 times table. We only ever went to 12. Now it's down to 10, you know, and type of thing. But that's why success motivation in their program was so bloody successful, because the audio tape was word for word what you were reading, you know. And then when you're using those two sensory systems together, you absorb a lot more, you know. It makes a big difference.
You guys just gave me an idea for a product. Thank you.
Just
no charge for that.
No. Hey, Ray, shut up, Ray. 5%.
I'm going to get a royalty. I've got 3 witnesses here, Murray.
I'm going to create. Well, yeah, but you guys didn't actually say what I did. What I'm going to do. You just inspired the idea.
That's enough.
I'm going to create a recording, or a series of recordings, that is 30 minutes of silence, no subliminals, no nothing, and then it's going to whisper for 4 hours, like just whisper positive affirmations and feelings to people. And it'll be something you put on when you go to sleep at night. So most people fall asleep within half an hour of going to bed anyway. So they'll fall asleep, and then the little whisper commands will come in and help to program them while they're sleeping. So that's the program. It'll be the quantum whisper system, or something.
It could be like the horse whisperer, eh?
But
or the horse shit whisperer.
How to win the Kentucky Derby, you know?
You know that when
or the Melbourne Cup, or the Melbourne Cup.
The start of your product, Murray, you was talking about like you'd have like a half hour of nothing, right? Well, yes. I don't know whether you've heard me tell this story before. I have several times, but in the JFK era, right, every person from the US basically wanted to find their heritage in Ireland or their lineage of whatever it was, right? And so it was all Irish-based stuff. And visitors would come over, and there was like the amount of visitors that came from the US during that period to Ireland was enormous. So a couple of smart guys set up this product, and they sold bottles of Irish fresh air. On the label, it said, "Do not open, otherwise contents will be lost forever." Zero, nothing in the bottle, right? And this stuff right off the shelves, right? People would take it back to the US and say, "I've got a bottle of fresh air, but I can't open it."
Did you ever hear of Pet Rock?
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah.
I came up with another idea years ago. I never did anything with it. I called it lab rice. You know, lab mice. Instead of lab mice, lab rice. So it'd be like a plastic display box, like jewelry display box, with a piece of foam in it and a few pieces of rice and instructions on experiments you can do on your lab rice. I never did anything with it, but I bet you it's $1 million idea.
It should start. I mean, it's like anything else, especially in this world today. Like the way stuff can go viral, right?
You just don't know, right? I mean, it could be the biggest waste of money and investment in your life, or it could just hit the right nerve and, you know, for no reason make someone a millionaire. Anyway, there you go. I gave it out. If any of you guys want to try it, go for it.
I just need a list of the experiments that you were going to apply with it.
Well, that's the thing. You just make stuff up. It's like stupid things. Like put a drop of water on, a drop of orange juice, you know, flick it across the table and see if it comes back to you, you know? I mean, like the dumbest things in the world. Like just type in tricks you can teach your dog and then do the same thing. Like just write them out, except instead of dog, insert rice here. You know, sell it for like,
and people would buy it. People would buy it. That's the thing. There will be people who would buy it because it becomes a craze.
Like the Pet Rock, you know.
Yeah,
what if I come across someone with a lot of
Pet Rock was the same, you know.
Time on their hands. Then I'll suggest it. Yeah.
It's like
so how's everything with you, Helen? We haven't heard anything from you yet.
Oh, me? No, just saying that, you know, these crazy things, but that's how they start, with someone's crazy idea, and people will buy them because it's a craze, whether it's any good or not. And because
international business we can start right now. Lab Rice Incorporated.
You should actually give it a go. I mean, just to put it out there and see, you know, charge what, you know, $5, $10, whatever, you know.
Oh, 10, at least $9.95. I mean, you know, make people do stupid things at stupid money. I mean, think about it. How much would it cost us to make it? Like 5 cents per?
It depends on like if you put it in a little satchel, for example, instead of so it's like in a Ziploc bag or something, you know, a mini Ziploc bag. Or something
even cheaper. I love it.
You know? and you tell them to get a jar and put it in, so they have to go and get the receptacle that you put it in, you know, and put cotton wool around it and wrap it up, make sure it kept warm, you know.
How about aftermarket? Go ahead, Helen.
I was going to say, others you say like that, and then you could actually have a nice little piece of paper or something they could put around the jar to decorate it even.
Oh, sure. And why not sell like a little bag of sand as an extra add-on? And you could say lab rice work very hard. They need a vacation every so often.
So is that
put it on your table and put the lab rice on the little piece of tissue, and it's like sun tanning.
Is that an order bump?
Yeah.
It's good to see the creative juices flowing. Okay.
You could send them a, like, what's it called, origami, whatever it is, like paper plane, to send your lab right on a trip somewhere. Just through the air.
There you go.
All these they can add the head with it, yeah.
All these things we're trying to do to help the world and be better, and we'll make our millions selling something stupid.
But you know when you say that, like, you talk about low end prices, right? And like there's two minds. There's lots of people out there saying sell high ticket items. Now I'm in a group, and I only recently joined it because I just want to get some more information. But this, and I did say this in a couple of other groups, but there's I'll dig her name out and send it to you guys. But there's a lady in the States, and she runs a Facebook ad coaching environment, right? So, and she's really good at what she does, because I've listened to some of her stuff. So it's not bullshit. Like, she's really good at it. And she charges $7 a month, right, for the membership. And she's got ongoing calls, and she'll even critique your ad, all in that price, right? So, and you're thinking, shit, you know, that's a good deal. She's got 7,000 members.
Well, 7 times 7,000, that's $400, right?
A month.
What does she actually do, Fred?
She teaches people how to use Facebook ads. So if you want to run Facebook ads, you know, even if you only join for a couple of months, but people, the trick is, and we've proved it, because my wife runs a coaching program online, and it's been going for 6 years. And we've had members come in, and it started off at $10. It's now $25 a month, but it started off at $10. And some of those people that came in the beginning in $10 haven't logged in for 3 years, and they're still paying.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, gyms are well known that people who pay gym memberships, they pay them and they don't go, and they still continue paying for it. Yeah.
Yep.
And probably because there is a small amount, say like that, say $7, $10, people just forget about it.
Well, it's not even to forget about it. Like they might even think about it, and they go, oh shit, I got that bill again, I'll cancel it. And they don't cancel it. Yeah. Right? They just don't get to cancel the credit card.
But you know what else? A lot of insurance companies will reduce your rate based on if you exercise, and so they can show the receipts from the health club for $20 a month to their insurance company, and they save $40 a month. So maybe that's what's going on.
Hey, now there's a good
membership. I can't lift it up because, you know, it's a heavy piece of paper. But
I must check that out here and see if that applies here, because that's a good angle for a gym to get more members.
Yeah, that isn't it? Yeah.
Well, you could lie to your insurance company, buy a membership with us. Yeah. We have a special membership price, only $10 a month.
No attendance needed.
$50 annually. You don't actually get any services from us, but you do get a receipt that you can show your insurance company.
It's interesting. We're talking about not delivering anything. So there's there's Irish air.
No service at all.
There's your whisperer with nothing in it, right? And now we're talking about gym memberships where you don't get anything. This conversation is not going
That's
well.
right. We sell you an embossed towel that you get free of charge, just so you can pretend that you've shown up at least once to the gym. This is terrible. I want to help the world, and all I'm doing is screwing it.
No, I'm loving these ideas, because I'm actually, you just thought about that. Like there was a thing here that they brought out, and it was like it was called Clayton's drink. So it was a drink bottle, right? But it was meant to be a whiskey, but it wasn't a whiskey. It was like what they've got now, like, so it's non-alcoholic drink, but it was meant to taste like whiskey. So it was called Clayton's. So then the phrase started to be, if anything was false or had a false connotation to it, they would say, oh, that's a Clayton's, right? So I'm just thinking, maybe we could have a Clayton's gym membership, or a Clayton's whatever, you know. And you said about the towel, so they get something, but whatever it is packaged. They don't really get anything. It's just they think they're a membership, like the Pet Rock or the Rice or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe that's it, you know, your Clayton lab roast.
Ooh, combine the two. I like it.
It'd get notoriety here because that phrase means something in Australia. Like when you say Clayton's, it means it's bullshit. You know, it's false. It's crap.
Well, maybe we pair up with Clayton's, the company, and we get them to go.
It's no longer in existence. That doesn't sell anymore.
Oh, they went out of business.
Yeah. Actually, I must double check that. I'm probably just guessing that, but I haven't seen it advertised anywhere for years. So I just must check and see if you can still buy a bottle of Clayton's.
Well, maybe you could get some lab rice drinking some Clayton's and see if it gets drunk.
Yeah.
Keep your lab rice on you at all times, and when it's time for you to do a breathalyzer, let the lab rice do it instead.
But that isn't that what the thing with the pet rock went? Like it was like make sure you get your pet rock and you water it and you love it and you put it to bed and you do all like there was.
Oh yeah, it was the dumbest thing in the world, and I had one of them with the stupid googly eyes, right? That move around.
Well, you could have an affair with it, Right, you do.
Oh, that would be hard.
Literally,
It'd be really bloody hard. Yeah.
You know, you have someone had a pet rock and had a little bed for it. It went to bed. It was wrapped up in his blanket.
And that was way back in the 70s when that guy did that. I read the story up on it recently, and it was really, really interesting. His background, and there's lots of people come up like that with, you see that in the music industry, like one-hit wonders, and they last forever. Like the Spirit in the Sky with Norman, he made a real comfortable living off one song, and that was it.
Yeah.
And there's been many artists like that, and so you don't need to invent new things. Often or not, you just have to improve on what is already there,
Exactly.
Because improvement sounds a lot better than new.
I'm looking at setting up another level in our group, which is a high ticket item, right? And I'm trying to work out what kind of content I'll deliver to make it of value to anybody that takes up the offer. So I've just come up with another, offer that it's another bit of content, so you get your own lab rice, right? So that's got to knock a few people over the line, doesn't it? It's really
you too could be a scientist.
Yeah, it pushes them over the line. They've got to be in the group now because you can't get your lab rice anywhere else.
Lab rice and a pet rock to go with it.
Maybe the pet rock is actually the doctor or the scientist. Incredible.
And you can just give them a syringe as well to go along with it.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to upgrade? You need a syringe so you can drop the right amount of stuff on it. There you go.
Well, you only have to look at the motor industry. You can have the same model, same brand of car, and they just glamorize it, tweak it, change it, make it look a little bit smarter or snappy or a little bit better than the previous year's model, and they've been doing that for years.
Yeah, just change some lights or the tail lights or something a little bit slightly different.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
But even you look at the Toyotas. I mean, the Toyotas, you got the Lexus, which is really their upper market Toyota, right? But what is it? Like it's a status symbol.
It's that's what it is. A status symbol. That's all it is. Yeah.
There's not the other cars will get you from A to B in similar because now most of the cars are very comfortable to ride in. Right? It's not like years ago. But the other side, when you look at that, you look at the even go back 20 years, you look at the size of the cars that we were driving. I mean, the Honda Civic 20 years ago, compare it to the Honda Civic today. It's probably size, So it's even that. And if you go back even further, 40 years when the Civic was first out, it was a little bubble car, you could barely get two people into it. So, and not much has changed in the price when you look at them, they certainly haven't doubled in price, cars in the time frame. Probably relative to what people are earning, they're probably halved in price because wages have gone up, but the cost of vehicles really hasn't gone up to the same level. It's interesting.
Someone's got his pet rock at the back.
Yeah.
Have you got a pet rock?
He's got a pet rock here, look. The care and training of your pet rock.
Well, you don't want it peeing all over the carpet, so come on.
I like the big carry-all. That's good.
Yeah, that's nice. And look, it has breathing holes, so your pet rock doesn't suffocate.
Yeah.
Where'd you find the image?
I just did a search while we were talking in Google and images, and it looked like it would fit on a Zoom screen. Okay, be a nice background.
I actually might do a sample test and see, because this has been a really fun session today. I just dummy so. Oh, I'll see if I can find it. Where is it? I've got a photo of something I did years ago on April Fool's Day here. Let me see if I can find my photo. Well, it goes back a while. I actually, like April Fool's, I think, I'm not sure if it's the same in the US or not, but April Fool's Day, people do pranks and they do everything else. And they did one a few years ago, and it was actually, what it was, they with AFL, you've got a rugby shaped ball, like similar to the gridiron ball, that kind of shape.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that we're going to start implementing a square ball. Right? And it was all over the news, right? The news ran with it, just as a gimmick on April Fool's Day. And the reaction that it got from people, like nobody, well, I'd say 90% of people tweaked it was April Fool's, but the amount of people that actually believed they were going to introduce a square ball to AFL, they reckon that the phones were going off the hook. Not sure if we could see this. Can you see this?
Milk, something about,
Yes.
kindergarten milk, I can see, yeah.
What's it say?
Stop moving it around, it'd be easy. Oh, kangaroo milk.
Farmers kangaroo milk.
Right.
Yeah.
So I dummied that up and put it up on a post. And I put it up.
That's not real?
How do you milk a kangaroo?
Milk a kangaroo.
I don't know. Maybe you.
Because the baby's down in the pouch.
One of the problems, Maury, with the kangaroo milk is that, cows walk along the thing. When you get kangaroo milk in a container like that, and the kangaroo's jumping, it's hopping along, and then it turns into cream.
Well, you wouldn't have to mix it. That's the thing, right?
But the thing, what I put, like I did that as an April Fool's joke, right? I got the carton, I did it in Photoshop, I put it up there and put it up, and I put up distributors wanted.
A couple of years ago, I came to a little town called Morrinsville, which is in the heart of the dairy producing part of the North Island, just south of Auckland. Anyway, as you come in the main in the main road to come in, they've got cows, like they're plaster cows, and they're painted all different colours, like blue and brown and that. And anyway, I took a series of photos and I put some little captions under the photos. When it come to the blue one, I said, this is where blue vein cheese comes from. That's why the cow's blue. And I said, you wonder where chocolate milk comes from? They come from the brown cows. And the number of replies I got back from people who sucked it all in, it was amazing, But the simplest things are the funniest in a lot of cases, like the pet rock, and it's all official, done up professionally in a box like that, and people will buy it just for the sheer hell of it, for the sheer fun of it,
Well, a lot of kids don't even know where milk comes from. They just think milk comes from a cow shed, from a supermarket.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
And that's why obviously it was so easy for them to believe that blue cheese comes from blue cows and chocolate milk. It just, we think it's absolutely ridiculous. How can someone believe it? But this is how the society are now. They are so programmed, whatever they see in front of them, and they believe what they see in front of them.
Well, we're programmed to visualize everything, and I got a set of audio CDs here called "I Know What to Do, but Why Don't I Do It?" And the guy's given these lectures, and he's describing what color snow is and what color some other things was. Then he asked a trick question. He says, what do cows drink? And all the people said milk, because they had the visualization of snow, other things that were white related. And when he asked the question, what do cows drink? They all said milk. You know?
I've got to post that image up on Facebook today and do the same and do the same thing and say distributors wanted, you know. And we'll see.
And you could buy a plate of Skippy's cornflakes to go with it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Now you're talking about upselling.
Or you could say, I had this idea years ago and I'm hopping mad. Somebody stole this from me. I'm hopping mad.
Or like Ray said, shake 40 times and create your own cream, or create your own cheese, whatever, you know.
Works for me.
Yeah, so I just got to get the original, because that one I've posted or shared before has got some other stuff over it for some unknown reason. But anyway, I'll find the original and post it up later, so you can all comment on it and see if we can get some viral response. Yeah?
Hey, maybe you'll get an announcement from a dairy company. They want you to head up their new.
You usually, like, my answer when somebody says, "Where, like, how can you do that? Is it real?" And I go, "Well, like I said to you, how do you milk a kangaroo? Pretty dangerous."
But that could just be a brand. That could just be a new brand for milk, though. Regular cow milk, call it kangaroo brand, Australian.
Yeah. Actually, we had in-laws out from Ireland, and I actually showed them this, and the kids were, you know, pretty young, like it was 6 and 8 and 10 or whatever. And I said, this one is the chocolate variety because it's got the brown on the carton, right? So it's chocolate kangaroo milk.
And they would have believed it. They would have believed it.
Yeah, it sucked the kids right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the power of Photoshop.
Yeah. But I mean, posting silly things like that is amazing. I mean, the comments that you get more comments like that than posting a business tip quite often.
Oh, the most comments I ever got on Facebook was when I said, "Hey, everybody, I've got some great news. You may not know this or not, but I had lost 30 pounds, ... Well, the good news is I found it." I hate losing things. It's just terrible.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. Maybe that's a task for next week. Come up with some post that we could believe might go viral.
Some crazy thing.
Some bullshit post, you know, just not really, just not really intent, just to get comments and see what. Yeah.
Oh, I love the kangaroo milk, and the image is already there, so I think that's what we should go for.
I'm just going to find the original, and you'll see it. I'll tag you guys in, and then let's see how it goes. What kind of comments we get on it. I might get a dairy come back to me and say, "Yeah, we'll distribute it."
You know what? The graphics are beautiful. I bet you it would be a very popular brand of milk. I bet you would increase sales for some company. Make sure you have some kind of copyright on the image and stuff, so someone can't just steal it from you.
I mean, yeah, the fact I've got it, it's mine. It's, you know.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's copywritten. You have to actually protect it legally. Otherwise, when you put it out there, it goes into the general world, at least in Canada and the States. It goes out into the general world, and anyone can use it for anything unless it's protected.
I'll just put a little thing on the bottom of the image saying image is copyrighted. So
yeah, you can do that.
Because I wouldn't have
copyright 1943.
Does copyright hold up on Facebook?
No, everything you put up on Facebook is theirs.
Yeah,
part of the terms of service.
What if you put a naked picture of yourself up there? Does that make it?
No, they wouldn't want. They'd let you have it.
Yeah, they would. They would let you have it, because that's the stuff I used to get in one of my groups. I used to be. So to me, that wasn't was it the wording was? It does not break our community rules or something. I even had a guy that hacked in my original Facebook account, and he meant I'd only got my phone number, he got all my details, and I couldn't get access to it. And I tried to write and I wouldn't come to it. Anyway, I had two friends, and within a few very short time the same day, one guy actually sent his bank account and the details. Then he realised that he wasn't talking to me. My other friend knew quite quickly by questions, because now these both people knew me personally. And he phoned me and he said, "Oh, Helen, your account's been hacked and I'm talking to the scammer right at the moment." So somehow we linked, and the guy had no idea. And I said something around it, and I said, "Oh, actually, you're talking to the owner of that Facebook page." I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Yes, you are." My friend Dave said first, he said, "I'm actually talking to her on the phone, so you're not the owner of the Facebook." And he said, "Yeah." So I'll put your photo on. So anyway, we did it on a Facebook phone call thing. And I got him to type, and he said to me, "So you know," he was typing, and he said, "Yeah," and he actually admitted he actually hacked my Facebook account, that he managed to get my phone number and my email address and changed everything. He said, "Do you want it back?" I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "If you pay me $50, I will give it back to you."
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, all you do is going to get some money off me. I wasn't going to get it back. So when I finished, I copied all my messages, and then I blocked him, so that I want to block him, not him block me, so I could get back to it. So I sent all that off to Facebook, sent the 2 messages from my friends as well, and sent it all off there to them through my other profile. They wrote back and said he hadn't broken the community rules.
It's called ransomware.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Facebook themselves are like that, because you complain about it and they'll tell you that, well, you know, it fits within our community.
So that's what has
Yeah,
happened.
you know, and yeah,
But
they won't take any action at all.
That's
Yeah,
the
but
only answer they come back with.
the opposite happened to me. Like years ago, and this is going back years ago, I posted something that had an affiliate link in it. So they blocked my ad account because that goes against terms of service. Right? So I wrote them and I said, you know, it happened once. I apologize. I'm sorry. You know, didn't realize it was against terms of service. No, not up for review. Every now and again, I'll send off a review because, and bear in mind, this is going back years, and it was one event. Still won't open up that account, right? It just, and I'm, you know, and you're going, mate, so I want to give you money. What's the problem? You know, I want to run an ad account on that profile. No, won't open it up. So I have to use my wife's account if I want to run any Facebook ads.
Well, I can't even get back into my account at all. They blocked me from even getting access to it, my original account. And I was being with that account was almost from when they first started.
Yeah, I was the same. Yeah, that's why I've now got like my
right back in the early days, and there's no loyalty, there's no nothing, and they just. And then, and here's a guy even put it in writing to tell me, he wrote in the message that he'd hacked hacked my account, changed my password, changed my email. If you want it back, you have to pay me $50. And I thought, God, what more evidence do they want? The guy's even admitted that he's done it.
And the problem is, if he gives it back to you, he's got a way of getting into it again anyway. So
I know that's yeah. But it just their whole attitude about it is just
And it is a problem because everybody's using it. I mean, I'm using it for marketing. You know, if Facebook turned everything off tomorrow, what would a lot of businesses do?
I wouldn't give a shit personally.
No, you would, but I'm just saying a lot of businesses actually rely on it to get the leads, get the contacts, stay in contact with people. You know,
software. That's how software works. I mean, we need Facebook for that.
Yeah, and that's a problem. You know, it's like everything else. That's why it's very important that if you have leads, you get them off of Facebook, even if you just put them in a repository somewhere for later. Don't use it, but at least you've got them sitting there. So if Facebook closed the door on you, you've got way of re-engaging with your contact.
Yeah, because that's what happened when I lost that account. I had a couple of guys. I actually got an investment company that does it, but I don't do anything with it. Just sit there. But I had a guy that somebody came about it, and he was really interested in doing it. And I was in the middle of, and he was talking about investing big money. And because when I lost the account, I lost contact with him as well. And I hadn't been talking long enough to try and remember his name. So yeah.
I wouldn't remember his name anyway, no matter how long I was talking to him, unless I wrote it down.
Yeah, because these days we talk to so many people now.
Yeah, if there's someone you want to keep in touch with, always keep some kind of a record. When I'm doing Zoom meetings with people that I want to do business with, or I think I might be doing business with, I have 2 Zoom folders. I have Zoom automatically set to save the chat, and also create a folder on my desktop. So as soon as I close my Zoom, it puts it there. And I have one folder of people I want to like keep immediate contact with, and another where I just put everything. So that way, if I need it, I have it there. And usually I ask people, put your email address in there, put your phone number or whatever, put some information in there so I have it as a backup. The other thing is I found out something about Zoom. You know how when we go to backout or breakout rooms, and then we come back,
the chats disappear. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually doesn't disappear.
What happens?
Yeah, it comes back when you
At the very bottom where you type. If you click the three dots, it'll give you the option to save chat, and it will actually save everything that was in the chat from the beginning of the Zoom.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good news. That's good news. I just thought it disappeared.
It disappears from the chat up top that you actually can read, but it actually does save everything. I tried it on a couple. I found out last time I was on. So spread that news around to people, because everybody thinks they're losing everything, and it's a major pain, and Zoom is screwing us over, which they are, because they should have just said, if you want to save all the chat, it should just have like save chat from the beginning or something.
Yeah.
Make it easy for us instead of making us guess.
Yeah, because I found that because that's what everybody was thinking we were losing it when we went into breakout. Yeah. No, it's all.
But then when you come back, it's all gone.
Yeah, but it's actually
but it actually isn't all gone. You just don't see it anymore.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Like cunning like they do. So it's trying to make people do more work or get people panicking.
Yeah, but you kind of wonder why Zoom would make things more complicated, especially now with so many competitors to Zoom popping up.
That's when they should be making it easy and making it, because when people see that and think they've lost it, they might start looking at other options.
There are a lot of other options too.
Yeah, right. Yes, I found that recently. So there's more and more. It's like everything.
And Zoom bombers. Have you guys ever had problems with Zoom bombers?
I was in one. I've only seen it once, and that was in a room a couple of weeks ago. First time I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
No,
I've seen it a few times.
Yeah, no, and I don't know how to get in, because it's like.
Well, they find the link somehow, right? And then they just click on the link and they're in. But what I do is when I host a room, like I only host when I'm doing a webinar. I don't run it as a webinar though. I just run it as a normal room. But there's an option when you're hosting where you can actually make it so people can't unmute themselves. There's a setting that says don't allow people to unmute.
Yeah, but the one I was in, they're actually taking over the screens as well.
Yeah, that's.
So it was even.
Wow.
It wasn't just they came as a visitor. They actually took over the screen and they were changing people's names.
Really?
Yeah. They had admin access for some reason, somehow.
They had to get administrator options or something.
Yeah, they actually had them, so I don't know how they got them. That was the problem.
That's a point. I don't know how to stop that. That's someone who really knows what they're doing. Jay, you're just in time.
Oh shit, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it's nice talking to you all. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Oh, we're close. We got 10 minutes to go. So
I was going to say, Fred, what? Am I late?
You're late. 11 o'clock.
You missed our brilliant.
Oh, I thought it was 12.
No, all the messages said 11.
No, just what do you think? I've read them.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'll send you a voice message next time, so you don't have to read them.
Yeah. Oh, it does say 11. You're right. Okay.
Yep.
There you go. For some reason, I thought it was 12. How is everybody anyway?
We're good till you arrived.
Fuck all confidence,
now we're going to change our conversation.
You stop talking about me.
Oh,
now.
pretty good, Jason.
Yeah,
Besides, there's no good complaining. No one's going to listen. So what the hell?
True.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What'd you say, Ray?
This is going to be an interesting one because Jay is not aware of the conversation. So when I post the next post on Facebook, it's going to be an interesting.
Oh yeah.
So watch this
Oh,
space.
you missed the whole lab rice event. That's too bad.
Yep.
Oh, good. Oh, well, I'll catch you all tomorrow then.
All right,
Yeah, don't get the pip. Don't get the pip, Jay. Okay.
my God.
Oh, well, that's cool. Well, it's good to have a nice little social chat about not a hell of a lot, but it was all good. You know.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm actually organizing the post, so it'll probably be up there in probably 5-10 minutes after the call. So
Beautiful.
it'll be, and I'll tag
That
you.
looked real to me. That looked completely real.
I'll tag you guys to it so you can actually
Oh,
see it.
definitely. I'll comment. I'll mention how delicious it is and how good it is for your health.
Yeah, but what you want to do is you say, have you looked at distribution rights in the US? Can I connect you with people? So,
No, I'm going to say I might be interested in
Distributors in the US, yeah.
For Canada, yeah.
Canada, yeah.
Sure. Well, we only have cow milk here. We don't have, or some goat milk too, I guess, but we don't have kangaroo milk.
Well, I mean, you look at what's all the nuts and stuff they're now making. Like, how do you make milk? Like, get milk from a nut?
From like almond milk, yeah.
Yeah, like almond milk.
Oh,
like,
I love almond milk.
They call it milk, right? But it's really
Well,
just
what they probably do is they probably grind the shit out of it and add water.
You squash the crap out of it.
Yeah, they just make it into a very fine powder and mix it all up.
A bit of water. So there's there's probably 90% water and 10% almond.
Yeah, and they charge you through the nose for it,
Almond milk, soya milk. What other ones are they? Oat milk.
There's a good
Breast
one.
milk.
There's a good one. Transparent milk.
Yeah, there you are. It's called water.
The old water.
How about breast milk? Let's market breast milk.
Male milk. There you go.
Yeah, you can only be employed by a company
That
if
would
you're
get people's
pregnant.
attention, wouldn't it?
Oh, male breast milk.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, male breast
Yeah,
milk.
very rare, very expensive.
Yeah.
And what we do is we just drop a couple of hairs in it just for authenticity.
Oh no! Like the worm in the tequila. Comes with pubes. Oh no, sorry.
Oh
shit!
You think I'd grow up, huh?
Human creativity, eh? It's bloody great. Yeah.
And this is proof. I actually do have a brain. I know it doesn't look that way, but it's true. I do.
Say hello to Natalie for me because it's been like literally.
What are those black patches in the back there of the brain? That's what I want to know.
They're called striations.
They're called what?
Striations. It's like the spaces between the different folds of the brain.
Not the missing link.
And that thing over, it's hard to point, it's all mirrored.
Yeah.
But that thing here is called a spider meningioma. I actually have a growth in my brain.
So is that
one or two
of your brain?
I have a growth in that is my brain, yes.
Wow, okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's a cross section. So I actually have a growth in it. It's called a spider meningioma, I think, something like that. What doesn't do anything. It makes me a little crazy sometimes, but it does not dangerous. So.
But that's your excuse for everything now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got this.
It is.
And when you go like that, does it rattle?
It does. It does. Look, I even have real teeth and everything, eh? I have eyeball units. I have holes for eyeballs.
It's an interesting it's an interesting item, isn't it? The brain.
It is.
What it does.
So toenail. I think
what it regulates in your body, you know.
It does everything. The body wouldn't do anything without a brain.
No, because you need the brain to make everything work.
That's right. Everything else is just a part. The
Mm.
brain is the engine behind it all. So
Yeah, and it's not. Most people just think it's to do with thinking and behavior, but it's not. If you haven't got your brains not working, your heart and your legs and everything else don't work.
that's true. So basically what you're saying is people who are unemployed don't have a brain because they're not working. You see how language is though, right? I mean, language is kind of weird. Because if an alien were listening to this conversation, they'd probably nuke us.
Well, it all depends on your interpretation and your perception, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's true.
I put a post up on Facebook a little while back, one of my usual rants about the Prime Minister or the ex-Prime Minister. Anyway, there's been a lot of complaints over here about from people overseas saying that the vitriol that was detected was vile, shouldn't label this, shouldn't label that. Anyway, one guy had a good shot at me, and I says, well, I don't have a problem putting the post up. I said, maybe you have a problem in reading it. I said, it could be like the old Asian saying, what the eye sees and what the ear hears is already in the mind. That finished the conversation, and but it's true, we have this idea about certain things, and we all have different idea about the same subject, and a lot of it gets back to your perception of well, how it affects you or doesn't affect you, or whether it's important to you or not,
Yeah.
Hey, does anyone here believe in God?
What's that again?
Does anyone here believe in God? Just yes or no?
No.
I believe there's something out there, but I don't go to church. And
Oh, okay. Well, let's say one of you said yes. I could have said, well, I believe in God too, but God has 15 arms, 16 legs, and a nose the size of a large school bus. And that's an example of how words can be confusing. You can say this, oh, I believe in God too. Great, we have something in common. No, actually, we don't. Because my version of God is not your version of God.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, for me, God is a little old lady with a cane, and she sells pickles on the street corner.
But it's interesting. That can be a pretty touchy subject for a lot of people, and politics and religion. Politics and religion fit into the same bracket, and but I've had a couple of people, especially people out of the Philippines. They're very religious, and when I said to one, I said, I just don't go around praying and praising some deity, I said, I think I should put myself on the pedestal rather than somebody else, That didn't go down too bloody well, but
well, now they all pray about you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah, but it's an interesting subject,
Yeah, just words. Words have different meanings. We all think they mean
or
the
depends
same
you want to get attached to them or not. It's as simple as that. Same word can mean different things to different people.
Oh yeah,
definitely. I love.
I'm going to do a runner.
Hang on a second, right? Just give me a second, buddy. I'm just going to share my screen for a second. Just a moment.
Say that again.
I'm just going to share my screen. Get everybody's input.
Well, I've just seen you. Okay.
yeah, I love it.
You got it. Look, you need to
Absolutely love it.
You want to put on it that goes well with Skippy.
You got to put like a contact us button or something on it.
Get something.
Or maybe there's a phone number or something.
No, I'll fix it. Just watch. Give me a second. I'll just.
Oh, you know what you got to do? You got to create a Gmail address. Call it like kangaroomilk@gmail.com or something.
Contact Skippy at Kellogg's.
I'll actually
There, let me try to send an email to kangaroomilk@gmail.com and see if it works. To kangaroo milk at gmail.communism.
And you could put on a James Bond's quotation, shaken but not stirred.
Testing. This is a test. Okay, I'm sending it. Kangaroomilk@gmail.com is sending. Now let's see, it's sending. So let's see if it actually comes back to me. Or if some guy is going to go, will you stop bugging me already?
There you go.
It's not return. Yeah, message me yet.
And it's actually that is my like I gotta fix that up. Sorry.
It'll be interesting to see what response you get. Yeah.
That's actually real. Right? So that's my real messenger address, right?
Real, real.
Oh, really?
So what it'll do is actually see if we actually suck
Oh,
people.
actually.
Pretty good, Fred.
Okay. All right, guys, watch this space.
You know what? It's not bouncing back.
We'll get a free carton delivered to you, Maury.
I appreciate that. I can't wait to taste it.
What did you say, Dan Murray? What did you say before that?
I can't wait to taste it.
No, before that, you said something back, something.
Oh, I said I sent an email to kangaroomilk@gmail.com.
Yeah.
It hasn't bounced back to me.
So are you going to create that address?
Time or somebody actually has the email address.
Actually, what you should do.
It's
Oh,
probably a sex site or something.
well, you can see if you can claim it. And if you
Well,
if you,
it's not.
if you claim
It's
it,
not
then
bouncing back.
if,
Go to Gmail and see if you can sign up for it.
no, I was just going to say, if you sign up for it, then you can message say, the US distributors contact Kangaroo do Kangaroo Milk US at gmail.com, create the account, or even just as a gimmick, just say it, if you don't want to get the responses. But I think getting the responses and finding out how many people interact is really.
Oh, I get enough email as it is. I can just imagine there'll be like 12,000 people wanting in on this business.
Okay,
I can easily see that happen.
I'm going to save that and post it.
Nothing like the creativity, eh? It's good to see.
All right, guys, that was a really funny session. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, appreciate you hosting this.
No worries.
Okay, guys, have a good one. See you later on.
See you later, guys. Thank
Be
you.
well,
Bye.
everyone. Have a nice week.